We are live. Yo, gotta give props where props is due. Russell Westbrook sets the all-time triple-dub record, breaking Oscar Robertson's record at that. Yo, I'm not sure outside of like LeBron James, has there been a more scrutinized basketball player than Russell Westbrook? Now, I can't even lie to you. Me, myself, I've given Russ a lot of shit, but this was impressive. This year in itself was impressive. They got off to a really bad start and they rebounded. And a lot of that had to do with his play. Now, Bradley Bill was definitely putting in work all year, but what was Brad averaging like 34, 35 points early on, but they weren't winning. And in actuality, Russ was coming off of, I think, surgery. He wasn't in top shape. But as soon as he started to round off, man, you saw a big difference in that basketball team. Now tonight, no Brad Bill. They were facing Atlanta Hawks in a loss. Is when he broke the record. Um, yo, he's a stat stuffer. Do I feel like he stats pads? Yes, but this shit was still impressive. 28 points, 13 rebounds, 21 assists, 10 of 22 shooting, 3 of 7 from three, made all his free throws 5 for 5, and only 3 turnovers. You got to get props. You got to give props where props is due. Russ, all time, I can't put him in my top 5, right? I can't put him in my top 5 just yet. But I'm going to say he's definitely in the top 10. And you let me know, where does he rank with you? Because for my top 5, I had, obviously Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry, John Stockton, Oscar Robertson. Right as of right now, that's my top 5. But Russ, Russ is slowly creeping. He's slowly creeping, and this season says a lot. Now, as far as being a point guard, Russ is not a very good one. Like, don't let the don't let the high assist numbers fool you. Russ is not a good point guard in the sense that he's too aggressive. He looks like he's like if Kobe or Mike was running a one. They always think that they could beat their man. They always think that they're the best option, and that's not a point guard's job. And that might not be the best option for the team. And a lot of times he gets caught up with that. So whereas though he doesn't always get the ball where it needs to be, and alienates teammates, as you can see with dudes like Kevin Durant, they want it out. But as far as a basketball player goes, Russ is one of the best of his generation. Now Russ can do it all. Do I think sometimes he focuses on getting rebounds and assists too much because of the narrative? Yes, of course. But I can't act like Russ isn't trying to go out there and win the game. Russ plays extremely hard. And he put Washington on his back tonight in a losing effort. They lost 125 to 124. But he played well. He played well. And I think that they're in the playoff hunt. I think they're gonna be in the playoff game. From what they started early in the year, that should be commendable because they look like dog shit. They was giving up like buck 30s and buck 40s. But I want to know, where do y'all rank Russ all time? That's the question I got. Y'all can put that in the comments if you live or later. Where do you rank Russ all time? And is Russ the best point guard in the game today? Because him and Steph Curry have been putting on a show all season long. Even though their records aren't as good as one would like, they've been putting on a show. And you got some good ones. You got Dame, you got Kyrie, Russ, Steph, Chris Paul's in the MVP race. And that's the question for y'all. Who's better, Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook? I feel like it kind of depends on what you want. Do you want a guy that's going to lead your team and put the scores on your basketball team in the best position to succeed? Or do you want a guy who's like really dynamic? I feel like people get in the stat. I, Uncle Frank, Russ is around the borderline for top 50 all time. Uncle Frank, a top 15 shooting guard. We'll have Russ as a point guard either. I mean, you gotta put him at the point because he does bring the ball up. You got to put him at the point because he does bring the ball up, Uncle Frank. Is he more effective at the one? Probably not. Probably not. But he is technically a point guard. He's just a scoring point guard. But top 15 shooting guard. That shit is hilarious, bro. But yeah, I think they're a dangerous team. We all know what wins championships, and that's in the NCAA and the NBA. And they got probably the best selection of guards in basketball on paper. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Bill, and with they can win games. They bigs sucked. Like their bigs are ass. Like who they got at the five right now? Mo Wagner and Bertans. Yeah, nah, that's not gonna get it done. And if they draw the 76ers, 76ers gonna wash them easily. Nobody can stick and beat. And Westbrook and Bill don't exactly play defense. Uncle Frank, you said he's a combo guard. Yeah, I can see that. I definitely rock with that. Would you want him playing the one for your team, Uncle Frank? For me, nah. You never gonna win a championship with Russell Westbrook playing the one. That's just not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen. He's too aggressive. He's always gonna think that he's the best option. And like, what if Bill is hot? Is Russ really gonna get him the ball? If Russ think he has the better matchup, we've seen him do it with KD, who's a much better scorer than Bradley Bill, and Bradley Bill can fill it up, but Russ is too aggressive for his own good. Russ is like um, a lesser IQ and, of course, a shorter version of Kobe and Mike. In that mindset, they always think that they can do it themselves. And to his detriment, he hasn't necessarily matured to the fact to where as though he allows other people to get in the groove. Like, yeah, he gets a lot of assists, but a lot of times it's from him dominating the ball and not necessarily the ball moving freely. You said, hell no, Uncle Frank, you don't want him at the one. Yo, I can't even blame you, yo. I can't even blame you. I'm curious to see how he plays in this playoffs, though. This is going to tell me a lot. Like they have a chance to make some noise based on the matchup that they get. Let me see where they're at in the standings. Check this out. Okay. All right, so the 76ers is the one seed, 47-21, Nets 44-24, and then we got the Bucks. Wow, the Bucks and Nets are really close. I guess that's from all the injuries. But the Wizards are at the 10th spot, and they're battling with the Pacers, the Hornets, and the Celtics for that 7 to 8 range. Yeah. So let's say they won the playing game, they would have to face the Sixers or the Nets, and I don't think they can beat either team. Who do I think is better, Westbrook or Harden? Harden. I don't even think it was that hard. Harden is a better basketball player than Russell Westbrook. Harden showed me something when he went to the Nets. Like I don't know if I had him fucked up, but I thought he he was a looter in a riot in a sense. And I thought it was more so the Dan Antoni system. Now I know they're running the Dan Antoni system in Brooklyn, but watching how he adapted to having more talent showed me that he has a pretty high IQ, unlike Russ. Now I'm not trying to take nothing away from Russ, but James Harden and Russ IQ is on two different levels. Like Harden really adapted to talent around him and to where as though he put their needs ahead of his own. I've yet to see Russell Westbrook do that. Maybe it starts this playoffs. Maybe we see a different Russ. But I've yet to see him do that. And I don't like to judge players solely off the regular season because the playoffs let you know a lot. In the regular season, it's hard for teams to necessarily game plan for you because they have so many games during the week. But in the playoffs, they specifically game plan for you. Like, and then the adjustments from game to game is is also like at the highest. So yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm number one. I'm curious to see him in a playing game first. I don't know how it works. I'm not sure who they're going to draw, but hmm, yeah, this is. I didn't really watch it last year to know how that worked, but let's say they draw Hornets. They can beat the Hornets. They can beat the Hornets. This would be LaMelo's first playoff. Now the Pacers will be a difficult matchup. If the Wizards play the Celtics, they can possibly beat the Celtics. The Celtics have really erratic play. Like one moment, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown look like world beaters. Next moment, they can't shoot a rock into the ocean. It's weird. But if that's how the matchup's going to go, the 7 and 10, Wizards, Celtics, and then Hornets versus Pacers. Pacers would beat the Hornets, and Wizards versus the Celtics. That's 50-50 toss up. Now, Uncle Frank, is James Harden a shooting guard or a point guard? After this year, well, we know for that particular team, Kyrie's the shooting guard.